In a world where only the top 0.01% lead the pack, the climb to the apex is a path fraught with challenges and intense competition. But what if I told you that reaching the pinnacle of potential is within your grasp? That you too can harness the prowess of Ayanokoji, the Whiteroom, a concept, a mindset, a crucible where the extraordinary is forged. It's where Ayanokoji, a fictional embodiment of perfection, was molded. And it's where we will begin our exploration into the depths of human capability. Through this series, we will delve into the art of manipulation, power of observation, tactical thinking, strategic constructs, and the pitfalls of logical fallacies. I trust you've made a choice to unlock your latent potential. So now the only path is to go through with it. It's a hard path, and it's lonely. But you chose this. The end result is melancholy. You will have won, but quite possibly you will also lose everything, including yourself, winning at a cost. It is a small price to pay for greatness. This is the Whiteroom, and today I'm teaching you the basics. Section 1. Memory. I will show you a military technique for photographic memory. Set up a single lamp on a piece of paper with a summary of one of the 48 laws of power. Then turn it off. Sit in darkness until your eyes adjust. Then turn the lamp on and back off. Do this fast. If done correctly, you should see a visual imprint of the page. It won't be clear right away. It will start off blurry, but do it every day for a week to a month, and I assure you, you will definitely see results. Section 2. Books. Our arsenal includes 3 texts. First, The 48 Laws of Power, a Machiavellian guide to influence and dominance. Learn to manipulate. This book is very powerful. It is able to help you from one end of life to the other. Next, Can't Touch Me. It's not as necessary as the others because it's the basics of the basics, but it's still extremely useful. If you don't feel like you have the basics down, it's probably because you haven't read this book. Finally, The Art of War by Sun Tzu, a strategic masterpiece. Study it, absorb its wisdom. These books are our compass in the white. Welcome to Epoch. Choosing a martial art. The first step doesn't involve any exercise, but is still the toughest. Choosing a martial art takes time. I would suggest starting with a mix between kickboxing and wrestling, as it targets most of the major power points. What I mean by that is that kickboxing combines using good punches and powerful kicks that sets up your legs, hips, head, and entire torso for a fight. Wrestling adds extra conditioning and useful skills into that mix. If you somehow have already mastered kickboxing and wrestling, then try out a bunch of different ones that seem to work in a fight. I will list some here: Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, Sambo, and Aikido. Step 2. Practice plan. The second step is all about using AI to quickly make you an effective practice plan. I have used ChatGPT in the past, but Windows Copilot works. I will link GPT in the description. You need to ask it something simple like, make me a practice plan for kickboxing with just a punching bag and gloves, or make me a practice plan for wrestling without equipment. Don't worry about the equipment you have, but be sure to include it in your message to the AI. It is always better to have a punching bag, but you can still condition without one. Shadowboxing is useful, but you can also practice wrestling sprawls. I'm not quite sure how to go about wrestling without a partner, other than just sprawls and stance practice. Step 3. Practice. Don't stop based on anything that isn't crucial to do. If you have to go to dinner out, count that as crucial, but if all you gotta do is jack off, then it's not crucial at all. On a rest day, make sure you're doing active rest, and not just sitting down on a chair all day watching YouTube. You can do a light jog for 10-15 minutes, a few times a day. Step 4. Extra things you can do to get better. To get better when you're not able to practice, I would suggest trying to increase your working memory. This is the memory that tracks when someone is behind you while you are fighting. During a fight, you are liable to forget that someone is behind you as well, leading to an easy surprise attack. To increase your working memory, play simple, childish memory games. I will list some in the description. The visual memory practice on Human Benchmark is good. Shadow manipulation, how to actually do shadow manipulation, and finally when not to do shadow manipulation. Part 1. The importance of shadow manipulation. Shadow manipulation is extremely important, as it can decide whether a situation falls into chaos or not. It is less detectable than outright and obvious manipulation. Why? It's pretty self-explanatory, one of them is more covert. Part 2. How to do shadow manipulation. I'm going to split this section up further, because there are different methods. Part 2. Step 1. Subliminal manipulation. This tactic of shadow manipulation varies depending on the situation. But in short, you make them believe your idea is theirs. How? You can do it a few different ways. First, you can show them the problem and bring them close enough to the solution without giving your hand. An example would be in Classroom of the Elite. I make Horikita put up a fake camera. I do this by saying, "It's too bad there aren't any cameras." This is a pretty easy example. But manipulation does not need to be a tough thing to do. You can make it as easy or hard as you want. Part 2, Step 2, the White Knight. This manipulation tactic is more likely to get your hands dirty, so be prepared in case things go wrong. Get prepared by thinking over possible ways it could go wrong and what you would do if it does go wrong. How to start? It's pretty easy. You don't need to actively think about it all the time like subliminal manipulation. If you see a situation where someone is being bullied, wait it out. Be a bystander. Then when the bullies leave and the person is in shambles, show them a false light. Reach out your hand and help them up. Make a deal more beneficial to you, but magnify the person's ego by telling them what they would get out of it. Part 3. When not to do shadow manipulation. It is often better to do nothing and pretend to be content with how things are, than to lie and get caught. Unless you have thought it out thoroughly, do not intervene. The White Knight is safer, but it requires you to do things yourself. Subliminal manipulation is dangerous to you and them, so be careful when you use it, and do not get found out using subliminal manipulation.
If you truly want to be perfect, you need to know when people are deceiving you. Lie detection is extremely important as people in society lie all the time, and if the person's cover is blown, their reputation and power will plummet. You, in this game of power, need to win. So you need others to lose. In this video, I will explain one major thing you have to master. Once you master this, lie detection becomes effortless. Let's start the video. This is the Epoch, and you are watching Ayanokoji's Guide to Lie Detection. The main thing you must understand about lie detection is that it's all about the conversation. As an example, if someone were to tell you, without any visible signs of lying, that they saw a dragon or unicorn, you would of course know that they are lying. To expand on this, you need to ask open-ended questions. You need to ask questions that elicit a detailed explanation. This can be simple, such as, what happened the day of the fight? Once you ask the question, you need to listen intently for any quest that may give away a lie. If you sense one, expand on it. As an example, if they tell you, I was in the cafeteria and I was eating lunch, I saw someone getting beat up outside so I went over, blah blah blah. The most important point is that he was in the cafeteria eating lunch. You now need to put them on the spot in some way. You can do this by saying, the teachers confirmed that you walked to the fight from outside though. This doesn't need to be true, but making the person believe there was someone at the scene makes them more likely to confess openly. The subject is likely to confess right here. This will not be my only guide to reading people, as it primarily talks about lie detection. Not every encounter you meet someone they lie to you though, so you will need to use other techniques to read people. How to become a god. Focus. It's unbelievably simple. That is why it is so difficult for most people to understand. To achieve the simple act of focus, you must do other complex things though. Even if you think that you are good at focusing, keep an open mind. Because if you try the top secret CIA techniques that I'm going to mention, I assure you that you will understand how far you still have to go. Let me first tell you a story about this CIA technique. There once lived a person named Robert A. Monroe. In 1971, he founded a consciousness-expanding program called the Monroe Institute. Ever since then, the Monroe Institute has been widely hidden from public knowledge. Why? It was pretty much a real-life Whiteroom. They expanded the students' consciousness and created geniuses. They discovered higher levels of focus, such as Focus 3, Focus 10, and Focus 15. These are all focus multipliers, like the Kaioken in Dragon Ball. Monroe created an almost sacred set of audio files, called the Gateway Tapes. They are supposed to enhance your consciousness. I will provide an archive link to them in the description, as they are now over $200 normally. I will give them to you free, because you are all loyal supporters. Here is an example of one of the tapes.
This is the first step along your path to a gateway beyond which is discovery, your own discovery of reality, of truth, of who and what you are. Now a simple preparation. Because of the special audio techniques used, it's important that certain sounds reach your right ear and others your left ear. To be sure of this, you should be hearing my voice in your right ear at this moment.
It may be a little creepy, but relax into it when you start, and you will soon find out how much there really is to discover. Keep doing these tapes for an entire year. Make it a part of your morning routine, because morning is the best time to do them, since you won't fall asleep. If you tell me you haven't changed after a full year, I'll be damned, and I will willingly help you out. Do you want to achieve God-level states of intelligence? What about a classroom of elite intellectual warriors? I, Epoch, have created a Discord server that works just like the classroom of the elite. Our classes are still growing. There are group lessons every week on Tuesday. We have 4 separate class groups: Class A, Class B, Class C, and Class D. Points will be very useful in this server. You can buy anything with points. The class that stays in Class A by the end of the year gets a big reward. I'm currently deciding on what it should be. You will be awarded points based on these few things. Times you have manipulated people and gotten away with it. Generosity, a form of manipulation. Extra points if you use something you learned in class. Getting first place in special exams grants points, but it depends on the special exam. Join our classroom of the elite. Do the form and click on the Discord link. I hope to see you there. Are you looking for some super edgy, neoclassical villain arc music? Hell yeah. Let's get started with the list. Producer 1, Secession Studios. Secession Studios is exactly what Ayanokoji listens to. It is the perfect style of music for contemplating things. It helps me personally with concentration, and it has apparently been shown through the Mozart effect that any classical or neoclassical music can enhance brain power. Dancing with Flames. This song is a really slow build-up. Not one part of it is boring, though. Not too much to say about it. It's based off of the character of the Joker. All of Secession Studios' music is good for reading as well. Also, another style of music you should listen to become like Ayanokoji, is called subliminal music. It's sort of a style where the producers add quiet affirmations in the background to appeal to your subconscious. The quiet affirmations are supposed to do different things in your brain, such as make you smarter, program yourself with the 48 laws of power, etc. I will suggest some subliminals and songs in the description. That's all for this video. Keep fighting, my warriors.